Hello everybody, glad you could join me today. My name is Debbie Foster and I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Please come on and say hello, and if you have any questions, be sure you ask me. Let me go ahead and get my iPad up and running. If you have any questions, be sure you ask me. And we gotta turn the sound down. Okay. As I said, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Bismarck, Arkansas, United States. And I'd like to share the love of my card making with everybody. Today I'm going to do a little bit different. I know there's some new card makers out there that want to be card makers but don't know how to get started or exactly how to go about it. So I'm going to share step by step how to make the cards today. So I hope it's a help to everybody, and anybody that's an avid stamper, I hope you don't get bored with it. So let's get started. I'm going to turn you around to my table here, so hold on a second. Let me get it positioned right here. I can zoom it in a little bit. Let's see how that looks. I'm not very level with my camera for some reason, but it's looking right. But one of these days I'll get all these technical things worked out right. Let me see how that looks. I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Oh, and I've got something going on the Facebook. I've got squigglies. Hopefully it'll clear up. Let me wait a second here to make sure it clears out. I may have to restart. Come on, Facebook, be nice to me today. Like I said, be sure to say hello when you come on so I know who's here, so I can say hello to you. Good morning, Brenda. I'm just waiting to see if Facebook's going to clear up. It looks kind of squiggly on my end. There we go. Maybe it's going to clear up. Is it fuzzy on your side? Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started and see if it clears up. If not, we'll have to restart. But anyway, like I said, my name is Debbie Foster. I'm creating with Debbie, and my website to go shopping is www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And our January host code is 4D29J9E4. So if you have any questions, be sure you ask me on those. Good morning, Paula. Glad you could join us. Okay, I'm glad it cleared up for you. Maybe it's going to be okay today. So let me set that aside. And I want to introduce you to the paper pumpkin. You can subscribe monthly or 3-month or 6-month or a year. You get everything in the kit included. The first time you'll actually even get a acrylic block, plus your stamp set and everything that you'll need to do that month's kit. So it's different each month, something different. And and that's $22 a month. So usually it's like 12 cards that you can make, 12 to, let me see, I think it's 12 cards usually. That has everything in there that you'll need. It's an all-in-one inclusive set. I'm just kind of looking at what it says here. Yes, you'll get an ink spot with it. So you're all set to go. All you'll need to include would be your scissors and maybe a liquid adhesive. So if you have any questions on that, be sure to ask me. And my website is up above the video, so you could click on that and get more information. And right now we've got our new mini catalog. It's a mini catalog January to June 2021. And with every $50 you spend either in this catalog or the annual catalog, you can choose an item out of the celebration. And that's only running from now until February 28th. So be sure that you get onto that one real quick so you don't miss out. And we're going to be using some sets that are out of the mini catalog and the celebration today. So that'll be fun. And if you're interested in joining my team and being a discount shopper, where you'll get 20% off your purchases, you'll also get, for the kit, you pay $99. And that includes the shipping. All you'd have to pay is the $99 plus the sales tax for your area. And you get to choose $125 in product. And plus you'll get these 5 packs of 6x6 papers that aren't even available to anybody until the new annual catalog that comes out in June. So you get a sneak peek and take advantage of that. So if you have any questions on joining my team, be sure that you'll ask me and I can help you with that. So let's go ahead and we'll get started here. First off, we're going to use the Enjoy the Moment, which is one of those new sets that's out of the mini catalog. And it's on page, let me get my book here and show you which page. Yes, it's on page 59. And this is the stamp set here. I'm just making sure I got you in a good view here. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll start with that. Get started. And I'm going to do one that's really simple, and then I'm going to kind of step it up a little bit and add more to it. So here's the simple one. I'm just moving things out of my way. I've got a hair there. Looks like it might have been a cookie hair. So hopefully you can see that good. And here's the inside. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We'll get our bits and pieces out here and get started stamping. Okay, I thought I had some instructions with that. I guess I didn't. We're going to have to wing it here. Okay, we're going to start out with our cardstock, which is the crumb cake. And it measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And then I've scored it or folded it in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. And we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to burnish the edge of that. And then I've got 2 mats that measure, let me get my measurements here. Okay, our first mat is the early espresso cardstock, and that measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue that to the card base. Be sure you like and share the video also, so your friends can come join me, and it helps to bring up my viewership also. Okay, only seeing the catalog view. I'm not sure what you're saying, Paula. Seeing the catalog view. Let me see. Can you explain what you mean, Paula? I'm not sure exactly what you're saying on that. Okay, and then we've got a piece of white cardstock which measures 4 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches, and we're going to do our stamping on that. I'm not seeing your demo. Maybe you need to go out and come back in, maybe, Paula? I'm not sure what that might be. I'll give you a moment to see if that fixes it. Is anybody else having problems seeing me? Are you not seeing my table surface where I'm stamping it, Paula? I'm going to use the early espresso ink to do our stamping with. And I've mounted I'm not sure what this would be, some kind of a flower bud. Okay, good. Yeah, I didn't know exactly what was going on. With Facebook, you just never know, I guess. But we're going to ink up our image here. I'm using this image. And we're going to stamp that onto the side of our white cardstock, which measures 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And we're just going to put that on the right side. Stamp that on the right side. Morning, Sharon. Glad you could come. I'm going to do kind of a beginner's course today, so I know we have some new stampers out there that probably don't understand all the things that come before we get to our cards. I'm going to kind of go over everything step by step. Alright, and then I've got the sentiment, which is enjoy the moment. And we're going to ink that up with our early espresso ink also. And I'm going to stamp that kind of centered kind of on the left side. I guess a little bit more towards the bottom, just like so. And we're going to glue that to the front of our card base. It's kind of a gloomy day today. I know parts of Arkansas got some snow. We didn't get any. Okay. Let's set our ink aside. And now I'm going to take our Stella. It's like a glitter pen, I guess is what you call it. And I'm going to make sure my glitter is all the way down to the bottom of my barrel. And then we're going to take that and we're going to color in our flower buds. I guess that's what those are. I'm not sure exactly what to call them. That kind of moves the color a little bit and blends it all in and gives it some shine. And I'm going to do the stems a little bit. Alright. And grab my embellishments here. And I'm going to use, these are the, what are they called? The gilded, yeah, the gilded gems. And we're going to take 3 of those and place on our card. And I like to use my Take Your Pick tool with the putty end. It helps to pick up the embellishments. Well, there we go. See, just like so. Picks them up. And then we're going to place those on the top left side. And just kind of space them out a little bit. Alright, here we have that. So here we have the outside of our card. It's simple, but I think it's pretty. Sometimes simple is good. We're going to do the inside. We got a sheet of white cardstock, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiment on the inside. I'm using the good things are worth waiting for. We're going to bring our ink back over here. I don't know if you can hear Cookie, but she's over here snoring away. It's nap time. I'm going to place this on the upper center of the inside of our card. I guess that's pretty straight. Usually I have them kind of crooked where I got to start all over. We're going to glue that down to the inside of our card. And we open the card and we're going to place that in there. And get it straight. Alright, there we go. So, enjoy the moment. Good things are worth waiting for. Oh, I need to get my lighting over here. That's what I forgot to do. That might help. You can see better now. Let me make sure that doesn't interfere with my camera. I have a delay on my iPad, so I'm going to wait a moment to see, let it catch up to me. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, so set that aside. Okay, so here's our second one, where we kind of boosted the things up a little bit. Oops, I got something right there. A spot. So here's the second card using that same set. We just added a few things. We added this circle and a ribbon. And I kind of placed the gems a little bit differently. And I kind of did the inside a little bit too. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. Start out with our card base again, which measures 5 1/4 inches by 8 1/2 inches. And we'd scored it at, what did I say? I said 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches. Score it at 4 1/4 inches. And we're going to burnish the edge of that also. And then we're going to do the same with our matting and all that, like we did the first one. We have the early espresso matting, which measures 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And we're going to glue that down to our card base. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Ours was good. It was pretty chilly yesterday, and Saturday too was kind of chilly. Alright, and then we have a white cardstock mat, or that we're going to stamp on, that measures 3 3/4 inches. No, wait, I think I'm looking at these wrong. I should have wrote down my instructions. Yeah, 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And I'm going to wait to glue that down. I'm going to do our stamping first. So we're going to do the same thing with our flower bud. That's what I'm calling it. They look like buds to me. We're going to stamp that again to our right side. But instead of stamping our sentiment, we're going to stamp that onto a piece of scrap paper, white, using the same sentiment, enjoy the moment. And then we're going to come in with our punch, and we're going to punch that out. And I'm going to be using the 1 1/2 inch and the 2 inch. The 1 1/2 inch is going to be the one that cuts out the sentiment. So I like to look at the bottom of my punches to make sure I've got it centered right. Alright, we got that. And now we're going to take a piece of the early espresso scrap. We're going to cut out the 2 inch circle. And we're going to glue that on top of that circle. Trying not to get my fingers in the glue. Sometimes that's pretty difficult. Seems like I've always got glue all over my fingers. And then we're going to place those up on dimensionals. I'm going to put a couple on here. And I'm going to take your pick tool. I'm going to take my take your pick tool. I'm going to take the pokey in. I'm just going to pop these off. With no fingernails, that makes it easier to get the backings off. So I'm going to head and put that down in the center to the left side. And I'm going to glue that to the front of our card. That's okay, Deborah. You can go back and catch the replay of what you might have missed, but we just got started, so you didn't miss too much. We did one simple card before this one, I guess, is where we're at. Okay. And I'm going to take my Stella again, and we're going to color in the buds. It kind of blends the inks a little bit. And plus it gives it a little shine, a little sparkle. And a little bit there. Okay, I don't know if you can see it on the camera very well, the sparkle. Now there, my lighting looks darker. What have I done? I guess it's a gloomy day and it's hard to get my lighting right here. I've got a new light ordered, so I'm hoping that'll do a lot better. I think it comes tomorrow, so for next week it should be better. I've got a lot of shadows, it looks like. Okay, so now we're going to take our gems again, our gilded gems. We're going to place 3 of those down again. And I've got to get these out of the package. And these are the gilded gems. And those are in our regular catalog, our annual catalog. So we're going to angle these a little bit different than we did our first one. We're going to put 2 right there, and then we're going to put a smaller one on the grating. Set these aside. And we've got a little bow here. It'll come out of my package there. This is the braided linen trim, and it is, I'm thinking this is like a crumb cake color. And I like this too because you can fray the ends of it, which we're going to do on this one. I'll show you. But I've already tied it in a bow because I didn't want you watching me struggling with that. Sometimes it goes easier when you're not on camera than what it does live. So I'm going to curl up our glue dot a little bit, and I'm going to place that onto the stem of our flowers. And we're going to place that bow right on top of there. And now I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to fray our ribbon a little bit at the bottom, our linen trim. It just kind of adds a little bit to it, some dimension. I don't know if you can see that really well. I don't know why I'm getting so many shadows here. I don't like that. I've never had my lighting look this bad. I don't know what's going on. Hold on a second. I'm going to readjust my light stand here. If I lower it a little bit, it would be better. Maybe? Or did that make it worse? I don't understand why. Well, I don't know what's going on. Let me close the shade on my window. Maybe that's where the problem is. that's better. We'll see. Okay, let's get back to the project here. But here's our front of our card. After we finished that, we did the ribbon, the twine, and we popped up the sentiment on the circles. And we placed our gems a little bit differently. So let's do the inside. The inside is 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiment on the inside. Using that same sentiment, good things are worth waiting for. And using the same ink, the early espresso. I put that in the center. Okay. I got a little smudge on that one. I want to redo it. I think I rocked my stamp. So with the rubber stamps, if you rock them, you'll get kind of a shadow from the ink. So you want to make sure you go straight up and down with them as best that you can. But there are 2 sides to every paper, so we can fix the problem. And now I'm going to take the stamp that I didn't put on a block yet, which is this one right here. We're going to stamp the bottom of our inside of our card. Grab a block. And I'm using the same ink, the early espresso. So we're using early espresso on everything of this cards. And ink it up, and then we're going to place that at the bottom right corner of our card. Just like that. And then I got a little piece of the early espresso cardstock. It measures 1/8 inch, and it'll be 4 inches. It'll be right across the bottom, but I didn't cut it off yet. I want to trim it afterwards. So I take a fine line of glue. And then I'm going to leave a tiny border at the bottom. See if that's straight. Now I'm going to push this up a little tiny bit. Alright. And then we're going to come back and we're going to trim off the ends of that. You can always cut off, but you can't put back. So I think it moved on me a little bit. Okay. And just snip that off on each side. Just like so. So there we have that. And now we're going to put that glued up to the inside of our card. I've got butterfingers, can't open the card here. Alright. And we're going to get that straight on the inside of our card. Okay, so here's the outside of our card. Enjoy the moment. And then here's the inside of the card. Good things are worth waiting for. And I've got something there, had fuzz or something. I'd wipe off. So there's our first cards. Let's go ahead to the next stage, which would be adding this and the ribbon. So there's our first cards. All right, let's go to the next ones. set these aside. Clean my surface over here a little bit. Trying to grab everything here, get it over here. Okay. Get everything out here. Okay. So our next one is using one of our free stamp sets that comes out of the celebration, which, well, we're really going to be using two sets. We're going to be using the Darling Donkeys and also the sentiment that comes out of the Approaching Perfection. So those are two stamps that you can get, stamp sets that you can get free with every $50. And so I think he's really cute, or she. I think it's going to be a girl. She's carrying a pink rose. And there's the inside. All right, we'll set her aside. And with this, I'm going to show you exactly how to cut the paper and everything. So we're going to have a step-by-step here. We're going to be using the Oso Ombre, which is another one of the items that's in the celebration that you get for free with $50. And these are all the papers that are in there, but we're going to be using this one here. And I need to get my paper cutter. Trying to make a little space room here so I can work. Kind of got things showed about here. Alright, so we're going to start out, we're going to use a white cardstock, and we're going to cut our card base, and it's going to be 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And then we're going to score it at 5 1/2 inches. And remove my cutting blade away and use our scoring blade. Okay. So we're going to fold that, and then we're going to burnish that edge. I'm going to leave my paper cutter here because we're not finished yet. My bone folder. So here we have our card base. We'll set that over here. And then we're going to take our Rococo Rose cardstock. And we need it to be 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So we're going to cut it at 4. And 5 1/4 inches. That'll be one of our mattings that go on there. And then we're going to take our Designer Series paper, the Ombre, and we're going to cut that at 5 inches. So 5 inches. By 3 3/4 inches. And that'll be our first mat there. So I set that aside because we're going to do our donkey first. I got a piece of white cardstock that measures 2.5 inches by 4 1/8 inches we're going to cut it at. So 4 1/8. By 2.5 inches. Okay, and we're going to stamp our donkey on there. So we'll set our paper cutter aside. And I've already mounted the donkey. And we're going to be stamping with Memento black ink. So, whenever you use your blends, you need to use the Memento ink because they're alcohol based. So we're going to stamp her. Kind of off to the right side a little bit because we want a sentiment to fit in there too. So right there. I thought I stuck my fingers in the ink, but I didn't. I missed it. And we're using the Hee Haw. And okay, it's your birthday. So we're going to start with the Hee Haw. We're going to stamp that kind of underneath his tail. And also we're going to do the It's Your Birthday at the bottom. I need to stamp this off. I got a little bit of a smudge. I think my ink pad was a little bit juicy there. It picked up too much ink. And it still is a little bit. We're going to try it. It's your birthday. Okay, it looks okay. Let me close this other ink pad up here that I used before. Okay, so here we have our stamped image. We'll set the ink pad away for a moment. We're going to come back in with our blends. We're going to do some coloring. For the blends, I'm using the Rococo Rose, Crumb Cake, Petal Pink, and the Light Old Olive. So let me start by coloring our donkey first. I'm going to outline him with the dark Crumb Cake. And outline his face a little bit. And we'll do his tail. Tip of his tail. And down his leg a little bit. I'm going to color in his hooves too with the dark Crumb Cake. Okay. And I'll do a little bit right there. And his eyes. I think that's good. I'm going to come back in with the light Crumb Cake. And color in his ears. Legs. You want to kind of blend that darker in with the light. I'm going to take my other tip here and fill that in. Yeah. Didn't think it was working at first. It's a light color. what's with my lighting today? It's not real bright. Must be the weather. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. We're going to come back in with our petal pink, and we're going to color his ears, the insides of his ears. And his nose. Okay. Now we're going to use the light old olive. And we're going to color the stem of the rose and the leaf. I'm going to come back in with our dark Rococo rose. I'm going to do a little shading on the flower. Just a little bit. And I'm going to come back in with the light Rococo rose. Okay. And now for his teeth, to brighten them up, I'm going to use the stella and just color his teeth, and it brings that white out a little bit more. Kind of brightens his smile. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. Okay, so we're going to put this one up on dimensionals. I'm going to use 5 dimensionals. I'm going to put one in each corner and then one in the middle. And set that aside for a moment. We're going to put this together. I'm going to glue this one to the Rococo rose. And center that on there. Just leave a little border going all the way around it. Okay. And I've also added a ribbon onto this, which comes out of the flowers for every season. This is a combo pack. It's got 3 different ribbons in here. It has this one, and this one, and this one. So it has 3 different ones. And we're using the white. And I'm going to cut that at 6.5 inches. And I'm just going to place it towards the bottom. And to adhere that to our card, I'm going to take my Scotch tape. And I'm going to stick that on the back side, turn it over, and make sure I've got it straight. And we'll fasten that side. And now we can glue that to the front of our card base. card going in the right direction. Okay. And we're going to center that on the front of our card. Looks like the sunshine's trying to come out. The sunshine always makes you feel so much better. Hopefully it does. And then now we're just going to pop off these backings off our dimensionals. And we're going to center that on the front of our card. Okay. So there we have it. And I didn't put any gems on this. I kind of left it a little simple. You could add some rhinestones if you wanted to. Let's see what I did to the inside. And then for the inside, I thought I had some bits and pieces left here for it. Guess maybe I didn't. We're going to have to cut another strip of the paper, Designer Series paper. We're going to go with a strip of the Designer Series paper, and it's going to measure 1/2 inch. I'm just going to place it right there, and we're going to cut that down to size. And I want it to be 4 1/4 inches, the same width as what our card is. And we're going to place that at the bottom of our card, glue it down. There we go, glue. I'm getting to the bottom of my bottle, glue bottle. I'll shake it down a little bit. Oops. And I drop it to get glue all over here. Alright, and then our sentiment for the inside, we're using, so what if you're a year older? You're fabulous. And that's in that same set. We're going to ink that up, and we're going to stamp that at the top center. So there we have our inside. Here's the outside. You could also add a bow right on the side too if you wanted to. But I kind of left it plain. I kind of like the plain. And there's the inside. So, I'm going to bring all of our cards out today. I'm going to put this down because I've got some glue right there. I don't want to stick my cards into it. Let me move things aside here and we'll bring our cards out. Okay, so let me see here. Here's our first one, our second one, and our third. Make sure they're in camera view. So I hope you enjoyed the cards today, and I hope maybe that shows you that how easy it is making cards. It's just use your imagination mostly, and if you have any questions, be sure you reach out and ask me. I'd be glad to help you. Okay, so yes, I love the little donkey. He's so cute. She. They've got different poses here too. They're all darling, like their name, darling donkeys. Getting a glare here. Move that light out of the way, maybe that'll help. Thank you, Sharon. You're welcome, Paula. I hope that kind of helped you a little bit. I hope to do more simple ones for the beginners and everything, because all right, so here we have today, and just let me turn you around here again. Turn you around and talk face to face. Let me turn off some lighting here. You've got a glare. So I'm glad you enjoyed today. Be sure you share the video with everybody that you know. I'll be posting this to YouTube later today. And also on my blog, you can go on there and get all the step-by-step sizes and everything for everything, and which stamp sets I've used and everything. But I'm glad you're able to come on this morning. I'm wishing you a good week. Everybody stay safe and stay healthy. And we'll see you soon. I'll be back next Monday, same time.